Now, for today's episode is actually a very important episode, or a very special episode. As we're not here just to talk about Peacemaker, but we also, have something very important to discuss, and that is bird blindness. We have to raise awareness for bird blindness, and
Very
so
important cause.
please, yes, exactly. So please, everybody, stick around for as we raise awareness for this very special, thing. Condition. That's it. That's what I said it for. All right.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
Anyway, welcome back. Great to see you here, Andrew. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Ready to talk some Peacemaker. Uh,
Yeah.
what a what a great episode this one was as well. At least I thought. And so we'll
Yeah.
be delving into it here in just a moment. Before we do get into it, I'm trying to think of anything to cover before we get into the show. I do have one important update I want to share, as there's been some recent developments within the last few days about direction that the channel is going to be going, and that is the Comic Den. Me and Steve decided that we would just want to put that show on pause for now because both of us being back in school, and timing with a new part-time job that he has, we decided to just be best since we couldn't consistently have a consistently live time, but then also um, if we did to continue to be over videos, but then I kind of decided I'd rather just, if it's going to be videos, I'm going to go back to doing it more of like how I used to with the what was called comic clubs videos that I would do, and so I'm going to go back to doing that format of comic videos. And the plan is going to be I'm going to try to put one out every week or two, and so just an important update there is I there will be more comic content sooner than later. I realize that the last one has been like and something I do plan on getting back to. There's just been you know things that's been happening, and both personal life stuff, everybody and stuff. So, but yeah, just want to share that quick update. But then you know what? We're still going to be doing this Peacemaker stuff, and that's what we're here to talk about. Is I'm just keeping it nice and simple. Not promising too much since I have a bunch of other priorities going on. So, but yes, Peacemaker season 2, episode 2. This episode was another really good episode. I thought it did a bunch of stuff to help carry forward, and I think there was a lot to it that was really really good. What about you?
Yeah, well, it does what episode 1 did. It jumps right into the action. There's no build up. It just gets right to Peacemaker trying to figure out how to dispose of Peacemaker. And I loved this because it was like a serious dramatic moment. He's trying to hide the body and the body just keeps falling out. And he tries like 3 different times or 4 different times. Um and yeah, well, and also too, we get one thing I like that this season's doing so far is we're spending a lot more time with the characters in their normal life.
Right.
Because season 1 was all about their job and their task and everything, but we're actually getting to see the characters in a more kind of real sense, maybe a more relatable sense is a better way to put it.
Sure.
Um, so if you relate to any of these characters, you might need some help just because they're kind of in different situations. But yeah, all in all, it was a good episode. Raised awareness for a very important cause that
We'll get to that
people
for
deal
sure.
with. Yeah, so good episode.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a bunch of really good things about it. Um, I'm trying to think of like there's so much that happened with it, but you're right. At the beginning, we got Peacemaker dealing with his body. See, that's what I like about this is it doesn't shy away from
Mm-hmm.
getting right into it. Actually, before that though, we had a big flashback scene,
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
and that was like, oh, okay, what another great way to just get right into it of actually getting to see the moment when Rick Flag Sr. deals with learning how exactly his son died, is laying that motivation for, oh, this is why he hates Peacemaker so much. And that's one of those things I think any of us that looked into the show ahead of time knew. But I think here, like Frank, what's his name? Frank Grillo, right?
Yes.
He being able to actually see his reaction to it. I think he did a really good job with this. And, you know, one of the thoughts I had during this was, if I remember right, he played, what's his name in the MCU? Crossbones, right? Is
Yes.
that
Yes.
right? And so I was like, and if I remember right too, it's like half the time he's like under a mask or whatever there. And it's just like, it's making me realize how much more that he could have done, you know, in a antagonistic role. And so it's cool that they're giving him this chance here than just being one of those general sort of like big, bulky, you know, bad guys as kind of a throwaway to a degree. And so, great, you know what, great role for him here. As I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of like Rick Flag Sr. But it is interesting though too, if we got to see the actual flashbacks of that moment from the Suicide Squad here, which is interesting of at least how that whole fight went is officially canon, because the way that they talk about the Suicide Squad being canon is that they're kind of saying like the exact events may not be right. It's kind of like a
fever dream,
or like a fever dream sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. Where, you know, it's like, yeah, it happened, not necessarily in that way. Like, for one instance, you know, the movie did something very bold of killing off a bunch of characters within its first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, obviously that wouldn't be a thing because there's a bunch of great characters there they could use. And then, you know, we'll see how other developments go, but then it's also sound like, you know, we are going to get other aspects of it to be canon, such as Bloodsport, and we'll see what happens. I think they'll be very curious to see. You know, there's the whole question of if Margot Robbie will return back as Harley Quinn, so we'll see what'll happen there, because I think that's an interesting cookie to get into there, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I loved in the opening scene too. Economos is kind of trying to suck up to Rick Flag, because Rick Flag even says that he's like, "Are you sucking up to me right now?" And Economos goes, "Yes," you know.
Yeah.
And then so then we cut to Peacemaker trying to dispose of himself, and then we find. I completely forgot about this, that it's like the next morning, because he walks into his house and the party is still there, of everyone, and he calls Vigilante and asks him if he still has his bone saws. It was just like, and I can't remember if this was before or after, but Adebayo goes to her apartment, or at least her former apartment. Yeah. And that's where we see, of course, her girlfriend, and that they had. She thought that they were just a friends moment. She thought they were kind of on a break, just taking time off, and her girlfriend Kia, I think that's her name, was like, "What's the difference between that and breaking up? You know, we and supposed to go back to Gotham and all that jazz."
Yeah.
And then I think she goes to Peacemaker,
right,
and tells Peacemaker basically that he's being watched. But I don't know. I'll ask you this: if they know that it's Economos, because they have the Economos coming home party, but he's been spying on Peacemaker for at least 6 months. So I guess they don't know. They must not know it's him. I guess is how I took it, but I'm not sure.
You know, I thought there would be like that they would kind of know, because of how Adebayo was talking to him, being like, "We have a friend on the inside," and she just don't want to tell him that it was. You know, we know how Peacemaker can handle or lack of handle things, and so that's how I interpreted it. But it did kind of make you think for a moment, you know.
Yeah.
Before I continue on, what's up, Matthew? Great seeing you in the chat.
Hey.
Hope you're doing well. But yes.
I love when Peacemaker he's talking with Adebayo and they're comparing how he talks about how the quantum closet has just been normal to him, and he tried to compare that to
Mhm.
Adebayo being Methodist and like just being normal. She's like, that is not the same thing at all. And then he
Yeah.
goes on a great kind of
Oh, yeah.
Peacemaker rant about her winning conversations, and he's like having a dance party and everything. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it was just funny. It's that little stuff that's funny.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of great character moments brought up. You brought up Adebayo and her personal relationship. Seeing that suffer, but then
Mhm.
also, and to elaborate on that point, we saw that relationship be very positive the last time we got to see them at the end of season
Yeah.
1 together, and so obviously something has happened between them. We don't know what. Very much
Mhm.
like whatever has happened between Peacemaker and Harcourt. We don't know what's going on there either. So, interesting, and we did kind of get a little bit more to that, but that's jumping ahead a little bit. But we did get great stuff with Harcourt though too. That whole scene with Harcourt and the pharmacy, right? That's right.
Yes, yeah.
And so,
The lady, yeah.
yeah, and so I thought that was a great little Harcourt. I think Harcourt's becoming one of the standout characters in this season. And so it
Mhm.
was great seeing that, having her own moment there, and seeing how desperate she is, seeing that uh, she's living very low right now. One could say,
Mhm.
and so having a very rough time. And that's something I didn't necessarily make this connection right away when I watched the episode, but when I didn't watch all of the podcast episode for it yet because I fell asleep during
Mhm.
it last night. But for the Peacemaker podcast, they were talking about how it you see that moment where she looks over at the now hiring sign, and that's a
Yeah.
moment of just showing how desperate she is because she's in this place where, um, you, even though this place would never hire her after that sort of freak out moment or whatever you want to call it that she had,
Mhm.
um, she's so desperate that she's just trying however she can to make income again and try to be in a better place in life. So that's yeah, it's a big character moment, and like I said, once that
Mhm.
connection was made, where it's like, oh, I didn't realize the full sort of implication of that until after. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and she calls the guy, she references him as one of the Muppets. I can't remember which one.
Oh,
And
Beaker.
Beaker,
This Beaker.
yeah. And he goes, "Is that bad?" And the lady goes, "It's not good." Like it's funny. Those little jokes kind of make the show sometimes.
Beaker.
Even when Vigilante comes over to Peacemaker's house and
Oh,
the
that's
girl
funny.
comes out of the bathroom and he goes, well, that's gross. And Peacemaker goes, what? And he says, there was no time between her flushing and opening the door. He says she didn't wash her hands. Peacemaker goes like, all right. And Vigilante like, I don't think it's okay. And that's a version of Vigilante where he's upset, but he's
Yeah.
using that to talk about something else, trying to be sneaky or whatever, and
Right.
Peacemaker pitches on.
Right.
Mhm.
That was definitely a good moment there for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and then we get into one of my favorite bits, kind of. Well, you already touched a bit on briefly about Adebayo and uh, Peacemaker together, where they have a great moment together. And I really liked, you really highlight John Cena's acting ability for me. I thought when he had that big conversation with Adebayo, and he just kind of just freaked out,
Mhm.
and it was just like, you could tell that he's just pushed to the edge, and that he has all this stuff that he's, this other stuff that he's dealing with now. And yeah, I thought that was really good.
Mhm.
But while all this is happening, we have one of my favorite scenes so far, which I absolutely loved. And that is the introduction of Tim Meadows' character. What was his
Yes.
character's name again? I don't remember
Oh
his name.
man, let me look it up. I don't remember.
But anyway, I gotta say, his character is just so great in this, and I personally wasn't familiar with that actor, but now I'm like, oh, he's great.
Yeah,
And
he was
so-
on SNL briefly, and then he's been in a couple Adam Sandler movies.
okay,
He's pretty funny.
nice. So he's just so funny.
Langston.
Being Langston. There we go.
Langston Fleury.
Langston Fleury. Anyway, Langston here, he's great. He comes in, he's like plays the babysitter, right? Of being oh yeah, I gotta come in and make sure everything's all good. And I think
is that all right if I call you Ginger Cool?
Yeah. That's right. And always touching him too. He's touching him all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they had too is in the initial written version and what they initially filmed for that too was that right after he like comes in or goes over to Economos there is that he was going to start eating his food as well. And so
I think he eats one nugget. I think they included
maybe
that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they briefly include it, but like they don't like show it as much.
Right. He doesn't just like devour it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, he's so funny. And then we get to what is I think this is one of the most I've laughed out of any of Peacemaker.
You laughed at this awareness.
Oh, I know, I'm so terrible. But
it was pretty funny.
You have that moment when he calls Eagly a parrot.
Yeah, he goes, "What's up with this parrot?"
And he kind of looks over and goes like, "Dude, that's an eagle." It's like
Economist is like, "That's the symbol of America." Like, how do you not know the difference?
It's like, well, obviously you did not read my dossier. Oh goodness!
Yeah, I have bird blindness. They all look the same to me. It's like that. Like that's one of like James, man. That's hilarious. Like the
so funny.
He says like a hummingbird. He talks about a hummingbird and he's like, yeah, I only know that because I read it. He said it moves the same to me as any other bird. But then I'm thinking,
like, you don't know
of all the birds, what do they all look like? Like what is the one where they all look like that one? What I want to know.
I don't know. and it brings to the point of like, how do you not know the difference between a eagle and a duck?
Right. One flies, the other one doesn't.
Right. Oh my god. But yeah, that whole scene cracked me up. And what's funny is that this the idea behind that though is that there's as James Gunn described for how we got this idea for a coming about was there's this real condition where people can't tell people's faces apart from each other. And he said like these, he didn't say who it was, but he's like, there's a very good friend of mine who everyone knows that he can't tell people's faces. He's only able to recognize me after a moment because of my haircut and glasses. And like, so like that's a real thing of people that can't tell faces as easily. And he is like, well, I can't, right? And so he is like, why can't this apply to birds? And so he was like, yeah. And so that's where the whole idea came from. And it was so funny.
Well, I love later too. When they get like the team of people to storm Peacemaker's house, and he gives them all nicknames, and then the guy's like, he's like no names, and then he says barely legal, and then he says something else again, and I can't remember the other name he gives him, and he's like, want to keep going?
Right.
Promoted again.
What was his names? I don't remember.
Oh, there was one that was. I gotta look it up because
I remember we got titties as one of them.
Titties, yeah.
I don't remember the others though, but it was just like the most random names, which is great.
Let me see if I can.
But yeah, I can't wait to see more of his character as we go. He was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of that team though, we got such a great moment there as well though, or a huge action moment, and to really see, Eagly in action kicking ass of how many of those is there, like 4 soldiers there kicking all of their asses, And we have that moment too where he takes out one of their eyes. It's like, oh my god, this
I
is
know. I was like, dang,
brutal.
Eagly.
I know. Look at you go, Eagly. All right.
Well, and when Eagly's attacking one of the guys and Tim Meadows comes, he goes, Titties, get over here. I can't see how big this bird is. You know. That was great stuff.
Yeah, Matthew's like, yeah, shoot the bird. That is illegal. Shoot at it, goofus. Right. And so yeah, that was so great. I thought Eagly was you for me. Was the MVP of this episode, which is why when I was trying to figure out what to do for a quick thumbnail, I was just like, you know what, Eagly, he's the MVP. I feel like he was. It was great to see a focus on him of him actually being a badass, but then also the whole if it wasn't for Eagly, we wouldn't have the whole bird blindness thing come up. And so it was like because of Eagly, we got one of the moments that's ever made me laugh the most in this show ever. And then also just seeing Eagly be a badass. Like we got to see Eagly be cool in season 1, but we didn't get to ever see something that was solely focused on Eagly like this. And it's cool too because this is what's going to pave the way for, as you know, because we see him in the dance sequence, is Michael Rooker's character, who's going to be the arch nemesis for Eagly of this season, of being like the hunter that's going to hunt Eagly. So now we have a reason for his character than just being like, yeah, I'm just going to be here to hunt Eagly. So,
well, you know, speaking of the intro real quick, as we kind of jump backwards here, it's growing on me. I feel like each time I watch it, it grows on me more and more.
Yeah. I had one of those moments like a day or two after we did our episode over episode 1. I was just like on a kick of just randomly listening through like a bit of that band because I was listening to that first song, obviously in the intro, but then they also had a song here in episode 1 called Dreamer, which I thought was a great song as well. And then I don't remember the name of the song, but there's another song from that band. So already 2 episodes in, and there's 3 songs from this band that played as well. And there's a song that played in the moment when he's cutting open or cutting.
Oh, that song was great. I liked that one.
So that was from the same band, and I was like, okay, they're really good. Yes, yes, Matthew. Nice. The bird really is badass.
Yeah. Eagly's very cool.
So, you know, it's cool that they're growing on the characters. As you said earlier, you know, they're making a focus on making it really character driven, which is awesome. And something that's been teased, and we get to see it in this episode too, is like we really are well, something James Gunn said that was said in this that we can see in this episode was that we really don't get too much of like Peacemaker in the costume actually being Peacemaker. It's more of a I don't remember the character's last name, but Chris. It's more of a Chris show than
Smith.
Chris Smith show than a Peacemaker show. And I see how that applies, you know, especially with he's Peacemaker, but it's dealing with his personal relationships more than I think you said it well at the beginning of, you know, season 1 focused on the job aspect, where he has to always put on the front of he's Peacemaker, versus now we get more into more of who exactly is the person behind the mask or under the helmet, should we say. So and so I think this I mean, I think so far it's 2 for 2 overall, which is
and
awesome.
I think it's only going to get better from here, and I keep thinking I don't know how.
We'll see, you know.
I'm not mad at that. I'm like, man, those are going to be amazing episodes.
It's going to be tough, you know. And so, I'm here on board for the ride. I thought season 1 was, I'm not going to call it the best season of DC television, because there's some great stuff out there, you know, like Penguin is on a whole other level, but at the same time, it doesn't feel comic booky, you know. That's the other thing.
I would say it's definitely probably one of the funniest.
Yeah, but I do think overall Peacemaker is one of my personal favorites of everything, just because, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. You know, you have your great comedy aspect, you have some great serious moments with it, but then you also get some great comic booky stuff with it too that really pleases me, of being somebody that's, you know, really into all that other stuff. And so, and delving into the comics specifically, and so But anyway, the episode itself, though, yeah, we had that moment of, it is funny, Vigilante just coming on in with all the most suspicious looking things that you could possibly carry into somebody's house. We have the moment where the alien comes through.
That's right. Yeah, when they're burning the body.
Yeah, they're burning the body, and he's like, "You don't even have the respect to wave,"
Yeah.
And so
it's like, get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny as well as they do that with the whole alien there. We see a moment where Chris takes the alternate universe's phone.
Yes.
And he's able to go through and see all the pictures of Harcourt there, which is really cool.
And then he tries to call Harcourt, and of course, or text Harcourt. Well, actually, I'm skipping ahead there. They have the party for Economos. I love the part where Vigilante is trying to throw Economos the beer, and he can't catch the two that he throws, and then Harcourt's like, just hand it to him.
Right.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, the party was awesome. The one thing that I realized I forgot to mention about Eagly is that I love that they gave him his slow walk as well at the end of that too.
Yeah.
So we got a solo walk there for the bird. Which
is Sean Gunn with Rocket? Do they use him for Eagly? Because I know they used James for Eagly in the intro.
I believe it's somebody else.
Oh, okay. I was wondering who they used for
Matthew
Eagly while filming.
Here says Robert Patrick posted a short video of him doing the dance moves. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
See, something I am looking forward to on that note is excuse me, is in the episode, in the dance sequence, we do see, the other version of White Dragon and his brother, who's, I forgot to hear his name again, that he plays. We get to see them in the full costumes. I'm excited for when we eventually get to see that in the show, which will be cool.
Yeah.
And then we're just being kind of like, oh yeah, they're just there. So, but yeah. But yeah, the party, a great bonding experience.
Oh yeah.
Vigilante's going, letting himself loose, which is
very much so.
Very much so indeed.
I really liked the conversation between Chris and Harcourt.
Yes.
Because this is almost where the Harcourt is almost at the point of, she really is at the point of self-sabotage, where she has these friends and even strangers that are offering to help her.
Yeah.
Which deep down she knows she probably wants to say that, but almost like what the therapist says at the beginning of the first episode, she doesn't want to ask for help or doesn't want people to think she needs help. So, and I think Peacemaker too, or I should say Chris, in this moment, he's also thinking in the back of his head, they end up together in this other universe.
Right.
Why can't they in this one? So he almost kind of tries to give off that impression, and she's like, no, I ain't having any of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Very important character moments here, and I think even though we're just 2 episodes in, I mean, obviously it helps that we know the characters from season 1, but it very much is I think making big strides into their developments, but also working. So definitely very much excited to see where everything goes. We have that moment in the party of Vigilante. Of everybody pouring the beer on him too, which is
I
was like, I can only imagine how gross he would be after that. Was the main thing that went through my head as I was like,
well, he got a ton of beer for 4 people because that one case he opened had 20 something beers in it, and he got 2 of those.
I saw somebody make a joke of being like, Peacemaker getting so drunk off of Bud Light. He's such a lightweight, and I'm like, yes, it's so funny, but it's like that perfectly fits his character.
It does. Because how often is he going to parties like this?
Well, it's just just the whole thing about Peacemaker. It just makes sense that of all the characters, he is a lightweight.
Yeah.
And so it was great. But yeah, it was a really good sequence there.
And we even had Economos and Adebayo briefly have a conversation. I almost thought Economos was gonna reveal the secrets behind it all, because he was drunk, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's gonna, but he didn't. So
Yeah,
Adebayo tried to convince him to quit.
we're getting a bunch of like interesting relationships between each other. We're seeing a big thing between Adebayo and Economos.
Mhm.
Mirroring similar to Chris and Harcourt. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all come together and exactly if Vigilante will have anything more than just kind of being the guy that's there, because
Yeah.
it's like, well, we're seeing everybody kind of deal with something important to themselves. Well, we haven't really seen that with Vigilante, I feel like.
That almost kind of fits his character. Like he's always kind of just there, like he wants to be a part of something.
Right.
Because even we see that even in season 1, like when he
Yeah.
was hiding behind the dumpster, and they kind of just include him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he made a big life change. He curled his hair.
Right. How
That
can we
that
forget?
yeah. I mean, just that's huge. I'm surprised he didn't have a moment of like, you didn't notice my hair, you know. But I don't know if that's so much a character thing versus an actor thing or what,
right.
but yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, we'll definitely see where it all goes. I'm looking forward to seeing just where all the character developments are gonna go. So it'll be good.
Mhm.
And then really the only other thing we have to talk about is drunk Chris. Peacemaker goes back into the alternate Earth. I
Yeah,
guess
and
for
they're
now we can
looking.
just call it Earth 2 for all intents and purposes.
Yeah,
And as you mentioned, texting to Harcourt there, where he says hey, she says hey back, and then sends a message of a broken heart, and that's where it ends. It's not like some
yeah,
big giant cliffhanger of like, oh my gosh, what is he gonna do? Oh, I mean, there's obviously still like, oh, what is he gonna do? But it's
right,
not
right,
as
right.
like a drastic cliffhanger as say the first episode where it's like, oh, he just killed himself.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Well, and we
Yeah.
hear in the background his dad and brother are confused on where he is. They're obviously searching for him because the last they saw him,
Oh yeah.
he was there, and they were like, where'd the blood in the library come from?" Um,
Right.
See, this is where it gets interesting because when the episode ended, I was almost like, oh, well, Peacemaker will obviously join this universe and just leave the other one. But then I was like, well, no, wait a minute. In order, if he wants to bring his friends over, they would have to kill all those versions of them, or he'll just be because he's not going to be like sayonara to his friends.
Yeah.
But
What's it gonna be?
so
It's like, I wonder if he's gonna
yeah,
start trying to live more of a double life.
yeah,
Of
because he
where
definitely wants the relationship with his dad and brother.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so.
it's all leading to something very interesting of like, we don't quite know exactly where it's going, but
Mhm.
we're seeing all these pieces of how they're coming together. And
Mhm.
so I do hope personally next episode that we delve more into Earth 2, especially with him
Mhm.
reaching out to somebody in Earth 2. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get some more of, you know, Earth 2 in general. I would like.
I would almost yeah, I'd almost like the whole most of the episode should just be him, like everything
Yeah.
pertaining Chris, he's just in Earth 2. That
Yeah.
would be cool.
That would definitely be a wish.
Do a little bit of
For
world
sure.
building there. Yeah.
Yeah, like that'd be awesome to delve into
Mhm.
do that a bit more.
I
But
don't know if you've ever seen The
Mhm.
Office, but, his brother, the actor that plays his brother's from The Office. Um,
Okay.
I didn't initially recognize him, but then after we even did our
Mhm.
reviews and I saw some clips online, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's Roy from The Office," if anyone is
Oh,
wondering.
yeah. Well, what's up, Hosea? Great to see you here.
Hey,
Saying chosen family versus real family. Absolutely.
exactly.
And yeah, this has been such a wonderful little show though.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see where everything kind of goes forward. Great to see more people come tune in here at the end of the show though, as I don't think we really have much else to really talk
We
about, sadly. What is there
There's
something else?
briefly well,
Okay.
it's not much, it's, the
Sure.
post-credit scene, it was, like,
Oh,
15
right.
seconds, where Economos and, why am I blanking on his name again?
Um,
Lang Flurry
Langstrom or Langford? Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever his
Langford,
name is,
yeah.
yes.
Tim Meadows. We'll just call him Tim Meadows for right
Sure.
now. Sorry, buddy. But there, because he mentioned about because he says Pokemon, and Economos says Pokemon is plural, not Pokemon. And then he says, well, while you were nerding out learning about that, he was having a good time with some ladies. And then Economos kind of tries to catch his bluff in the post credit scene, and he's like, what were their names? And he says their names, and then he's like, where were they from? Were they hot? It was just a funny that,
Yes.
and that's even like the post credit scene of the last week. It's from a scene in the show that either maybe they did another take of, and they were like, this doesn't work, but we'll include it in the post credit scene. But they're funny. Even going back to season 1, they're all hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's a fun little tidbit of the way to include, like, oh, here's a extended take or alternate version of what we saw before, and the one scene happens, it's like, oh, we're getting a new version of this, okay, which is great, for sure. Oh, yeah.
But that's it. That's everything in the episode, right there.
You're right. That is now it. I completely forgot about exactly what that little credit scene was, but yes, wonderful little. What an episode. Can't wait for more. As I think overall it did its job of what an episode 2 should do. It starts building up more to where everything's going, and I think it's one of those shows where it's definitely doing its job of building up and taking the time to properly place these building blocks for it to all lead, because I feel like a bunch of people have kind of forgotten with a bunch of these comic book stuff of, they always expect big things to happen immediately. They want that immediate gratification. But to me, I think it's great that they're taking the time to tell a great story, and it's taken the use of, well, it's not a movie, all right, but it's a show where it's delving deep into these characters, and long form storytelling is what it is that we're getting. And I think so far, for what a first 2 of 8 episodes should accomplish, I think it has done a great job of what those 2 episodes should do. And so,
yeah, I agree. So
yeah, cannot see where everything goes. Thank you, everybody who has watched and tuned in. Great to always have you around, Matthew. Great to see you stop by and say hello, Hosea. Long time no see. Make sure to tune back in next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Do the math for whatever elsewhere. Sorry.
If you live overseas, we're sorry, we're not familiar enough.
But if you're overseas in Europe, it's probably a bit too late.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like 2 in the morning for anybody in the UK, so I don't expect anybody to watch it live. But there's always a recording afterwards. So
exactly.
That's a great thing about YouTube that I really like about YouTube is I notice a bit of the streams I do here in general actually end up catching a bit of traction afterwards, which is cool.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, besides the point though, 9 p.m. Eastern is our time that we're doing Peacemaker, and then we got something else we're doing after Peacemaker that we'll announce a bit closer to the end that we're looking forward to getting into as well. And then at some point I'll be putting back out some more Comic Club videos, going back to the Comic Club videos since I'm not doing content anymore, at least for the time being until things change. But gotta adjust and adapt as life goes on. But thank you all, everybody, so much for watching. Before we get out of here, where can the people find you at, Andrew? What do you have coming up?
You can catch me over on the Feast of Phantoms YouTube channel on Monday nights for MCU Monday. We are currently working our way through Jessica Jones Season 1. There won't be an episode this Monday because it's Labor Day, so we're taking the night off. And then on Thursday nights for the Cantina Happy Hour, you can catch me on there. We're working our way through Clone Wars Season 1. We have the Siege. I think it's the Siege of Ryloth is the name of the arc. Or it's just called Ryloth arc. But
Sure.
The arc with Ryloth is the arc we're talking about this week. We got one more episode after that with Season 1, and then we're on to Season 2. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Gone by fast. I know it's because we do it by arcs, but with a 22 episode season, we don't get those a lot anymore. So it's kind of nice. But anyways,
that is the thing is one thing I will comment about this, and one of the reasons why, with me not being as huge of a watcher, why I personally like a bunch of these episodes of shows, as long as they're done right. I like that phrase of all killer, no filler, and that's what that has to be, because there's things of like certain shows of like, yeah, they have good episodes, but it's like, how much does it really add? But
there's definitely a lot of episodes in the early seasons of the Clone Wars that you're like, did these have to be in here? Like,
but on the flip side, though,
Mhm.
there's also things such as like Clone Wars is one of the shows where I don't mind it as much with, is because it really helps delve into the universe more.
That's true. Except that arc with those droids in the desert. Those are the only episodes I could be like, yeah.
Yeah, funny enough, that's not my least favorite arc. But anyway,
I think because also the episodes are shorter too, so it's like, and I think
it does balance
depends
out
on the show.
Yeah. Like I'm currently watching a show. I'm finally. I don't think I've told you this, Matthew. Something Matthew would be very excited to hear about is that I am currently watching through Stargate for my first time.
Nice.
Very slowly, because we're doing something special over on the Tabletop Lounge. So make sure to tune in over there. But I'm starting to watch that, and it's definitely very much one of those shows where, it's a wide universe to explore, but very much like Star Wars, and so.
I don't know how many projects are in there, but I've only ever seen the first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's worth giving a look into sometime. I'm not too far into it, but last thing to say is, oh wait, hold on, you also have Came and Focus. You're doing
Came and Focus. That's right. As of this recording, tomorrow night on the Came and Focus YouTube channel, we will be discussing the action film Atomic Blonde, which I actually just watched today for the first time.
Did you like
it? Was a super fun movie, and I'm looking forward to discussing that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
I was looking at it, and because I'm gonna give it a try to make the time to watch it tomorrow, as long as I don't get distracted with other stuff. So we'll see. But I was looking at it, and I'm like, damn it, it's one of those movies that's on Prime. Only place to stream it at, I believe. But it's one of those with ads. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
the free
ads. I freaking pay extra to remove the ads from your content, and then you still play these movies only with ads. I mean, the ad placements in it is like, it's not terrible, but it's still like, if you're paying that extra little bit for Prime, do it. It's like, it shouldn't be a thing if I'm going out of my way to pay a little extra money for that sole purpose and not have any.
Yeah, no, that's where they get you.
And so it's dumb. Do better, Amazon. Also, the other thing, while I'm bitching about Amazon, I have one other thing to tell what to do is they own the rights to James Bond, and almost none of those movies are on Prime or in MGM Plus, I think it's called. Barely any of them are on there. There's like 20 something Bond movies.
There's 25 and then 2 unofficial ones.
Okay, 25 Bond movies, maybe 5 is available total. Do better, Amazon.
It's funny. I mean, I to no one's surprise, I actually own all of them on Blu-ray. But when I first watched them, it's like, so sometimes it's like with streaming rights, I don't know, but they used to like have most of them on there like a couple years ago, because that's how I first watched them. And then they're gone.
It's like what happened after they own it too? They own them.
It's so, like, anyway, I don't get it. Streaming rights are very odd.
But here's the thing though, is they're not streaming anywhere. It's the only place to stream most of those movies is to buy them.
Oh,
so
geez,
it's like
that's
why I'm like, do better about it.
Right, exactly.
It's like, just make them available. I mean, I'm not against buying it, but
still, when there's you're talking 25 movies, even if they're $3 to rent or something,
right? That's a good sum of money, Like that nice collection easily comes in for $100 being worth it, but still, that's a bunch of money to drop on something. So anyway, enough about Amazon ranting. Check out Andrew over on Piece of Fandoms and Came and Focus, whether they're going to talk about Atomic Blonde. I might be there. It all depends on if I make the time to watch it or not. And then also we have Tabletop Lounge on Monday. The Trail of Conspiracy continues for Chapter 6, which I'm very excited for, as it gets into an event called the Elroy Gala, which I'm very excited for to get into. So
I need to catch up on those episodes.
Oh my gosh, those have been so much fun. D&D is so much fun, and I've been trying to. I have some things I want to do with it, and so I'm excited for where all that's going. So, but
Nice.
I hope at the very least for anybody that's not into D&D, they at least enjoy the stories that is being told there, and so as that campaign in particular for me is a very big passion project, and so and I've been putting a bunch of effort into that. And the other thing I've been putting effort into as well that's D&D related is Red 5 Tavern, which I normally am a player in. I have been running recently a mini series, and this Friday should be the last part of that 4-part mini series, which delves into the backstory of my D&D character. And I am also very excited for where how that's going to end up too, as that has been a lot of fun. The whole idea behind that of just being able to what it is normally people don't give side adventure stories of their characters, but I thought of this really cool story idea. Part of how we arrange it is during seasons there, and so we kind of have like our season breaks, as you naturally do, between seasons. And I was like, "Hey, Charles, who normally DMs, I was like, do you mind if I have this idea for a mini series? Can I do it?" And so initially, it just began as like something that'd be 2 parts. They then grew up into something being 4 parts, and that's also been something very special for me. Is that's something that a special story that I've had thought of early on in the last season that we did, and so being able to finally tell that is really cool, and everybody loving it. It's always a joy to DM for that group as well. So something I don't, like I said, I'm not the main DM there, but I have done some things here and there. So, but anyway, alongside tangent of check out all the D&D stuff I do, because I absolutely love putting together stories. So, and without further ado, thank you all, everybody, so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.